in Montevideo Harbor for the battle-scarred Admiral Graf Spee. Her fire control tower smashed, her planes wrecked, her hull splintered by shell fire, the battered 10,000-ton German pocket battleship prepares for a rendezvous with death. From topmast to waterline, from bridge to main battery, despite hasty repairs, she bears the marks of a hot 18-hour sea fight. Expectant thousands throng to the waterfront. They come to watch the curtain rise on the last act of the war's most spectacular sea drama. The Nazi warship must go or be interned. In his gig, Captain Langsdorff, skipper of the Graf Spee, hurries to his ship. He gives no hint he has secret orders from Hitler that seal her doom. Sailing time is here. The Graf Spee begins her last voyage. She sails as if to engage the enemy once more. Only her captain aware that this $90 million monster sails to suicide. Off shore, she anchors, waits for sunset. Sunset that spells oblivion. Then flaming finale. The suicide ship, blown up by her own captain, surrenders to the sea. Ablaze from bow to stern, the Admiral Graf Spee is scuttled, rather than run the gauntlet of waiting British cruisers. Safely ashore come the Graf Spee's crew, 1,039 officers and men, who land in Argentina after sinking their ship. Captain Langsdorff, just a few short hours later to share the fate of his ship, protests their internment. But interned they are for the duration of the war. Daylight, smoke and flame still pouring from the smoldering hulk of a once mighty warship. Blazing contrast this to the gallantry of the World War admiral for whom this suicide craft was named. 25 years ago, Admiral Graf Spee went down fighting to the last against a superior British squadron not so far from the spot where his namesake lies, scuttled in the face of the enemy. In a holocaust of flames, the secrets of her construction are consumed. Secrets that made her the most powerful fighting ship of her size. Funeral pyre of the pride of the Nazi Navy. Funeral pyre of a sea raider that challenged the might of the British Navy and failed. Like below sea level, Uncle Sam's bombers skim across forbidding Death Valley, lowest point in the Western Hemisphere, as Army flyers test their ships in extremes of altitude. Farewell silhouette on America's Sahara. Then the formation soars into the foothills, the badlands of song and story. Up they go, climbing to 16,000 feet. Time for the cameraman to take on oxygen. Still going up, over the Sierra Nevada range, unusually bare of snow for this time of the year. The objective's famed Mount Whitney, towering 14,500 feet in the air. A successful flight from lowest to highest point in the USA.
The big city gets its last view of the giant dirigible Hindenburg, victim of one of the most appalling disasters in aviation history. This is the airliner's salons on a previous voyage, bespeak the gaiety and anticipation with which her travelers greeted their journey's end. Delayed 12 hours by storms, the passengers calmly view the magnificent panorama of the city with no thought of what is to come. Finally, the cruising ends, and Captain Max Truss, making his first trip as commander, turns the ship for the flight to Lakehurst. With no hint of impending tragedy, Captain Truss brings the Hindenburg over the airport at dusk. On board, passengers are eagerly awaiting to disembark, many filled with thoughts of home. Everything goes smoothly as the ship is gradually lowered. Ballast is dropped. At less than 300 feet from the earth, the ground crew of 200 sailors and civilians grabs the rope. In 5 minutes more, the ship will have landed. Then, without an instant's warning, the Hindenburg goes to her doom. The blazing airship hits the ground many leaps, some to safety, some to death. Horrified crowds rush to the scene as before their eyes nearly 200 die a dreadful death. Those who escape by jumping have been dragged away by the ground crew, braving the terrific heat at the risk of their lives. Hotter grows the fire as the palatial and greatest airship ever built is reduced to a red-hot skeleton. It seems almost unbelievable that anyone could have escaped. Destroyed by some mysterious cause, the Hindenburg ghost airships. Out of 32 dirigibles built, only 2 now remain, the worn-out Los Angeles and the Graf Zeppelin. A funeral pyre for many, but also a fiery monument to the heroism